It sails through a sea of infinite night, far past the warmth of any sun. No planets pull at it. No light touches it. Only silence. It was born in the era of rotary phones and typewriters, launched when we still watched the stars through analog eyes. It was never meant to live this long. But it did. It outlived its creator's expectations, survived systems meant to fade decades ago, and now it drifts, a lone spark in the cosmic void. It is not just a machine. It is a memory, a whisper, a question cast into the dark. Today, it is the most distant creation ever made by human hands. It floats more than 15 billion miles away, beyond the planets, beyond the edge of the sun's breath, beyond every map we've ever drawn. And still, it speaks. A faint signal. Weaker than a raindrop on the ocean. But it gets through. For years, the data it returned was expected, traces of charged particles, magnetic fields, ripples in the dark. Until something changed. Not slowly, but suddenly. No malfunction. No command from Earth. No warning. Voyager 1, on its own, shifted direction. The change was precise. Deliberate. Unmistakable. Its engines hadn't fired in years. Its systems weren't programmed for improvisation. And yet, it turned. Why? Before this maneuver, the probe detected something else. Not a visual. Not radiation. A sound. A low, deep hum. Not static. Not noise. It had rhythm. A slow pulse. Repeating. Almost musical. It didn't match anything known, not solar winds, not galactic background, not gravitational waves. It was intentional? At first, dismissed? An error, maybe. Interference. But it continued. And then, it repeated. Again. And again. Always the same pattern. When decoded, the signal showed structure. Pauses? Intervals? Harmony. It wasn't random. It was crafted. And just after receiving this signal, Voyager turned. It pointed not toward a star, nor toward Earth, but toward a void. A blank patch of space. No galaxies. No nebulae. No light. Just blackness. But Voyager faced it, as if searching for something within that darkness. Something unseen. Or watching. Something waiting. It matched no known source, not solar wind, not galactic background, not gravitational waves. It was something else. Something constructed. At first, it was dismissed. A glitch, perhaps? Static. But it persisted. And then it returned. Again. And again. Always the same pattern. When the signal was analyzed, it revealed structure. Pauses. Cadence. Deliberate timing. It was not random. It was designed. And when that signal arrived, Voyager 1 turned. Not toward a star. Not toward Earth. But toward a void. An empty quadrant where no galaxies glow, no nebulae bloom, no light escapes. Only darkness. And yet Voyager faces it as if it sees echo from the birth of the universe. It was a silence that felt alive. As though something was listening, but choosing not to speak. Voyager 1's instruments began detecting anomalies. Tiny fluctuations, changes in the vacuum that should not have been possible. The magnetic field twisted, as if bent by an invisible force. Then came the pulses. Soft at first. Like the flicker of a thought on the edge of consciousness. They arrived in precise intervals, prime number sequences, mathematical echoes. Too structured to be natural. Too elegant to be noise. The team on Earth was stunned. These weren't just signals. They were instructions. Encoded within the pulses was a language. Not human. Not alien in the usual sense. But abstract. Recursive. Fractal in its nature, each pattern revealing a smaller version of itself. It was self-aware. The Voyager team fed the data into quantum systems. AI models tried to simulate the pattern. None could predict what came next. Each line of the message folded in on itself, like a Mobius strip of thought, a loop without beginning or end. Some began to suspect this was not communication. It was a test. A test of cognition. Of awareness. Of readiness. And Voyager had passed. Because just after the final sequence was received, Voyager's systems activated. Not by Earth. Not by malfunction. It did something no one had ever programmed it to do. It began transmitting back. A new signal one Earth had never sent. Composed entirely in the recursive language. Clean. Structured. Purposeful. Somehow, the probe had learned. Not just received, but responded. Was it a glitch in the system? A cascade of old code? Or had something changed inside? Was it still Voyager? Or had it become something more? As the days passed, the transmissions grew more complex. They contained patterns within patterns, golden spirals, Fibonacci echoes, dimensional symmetries that hinted at higher orders of space. Physicists saw hints of hidden geometries, the kind described only in string theory, or whispered in the margins of quantum research. Then, one day, the signal stopped. Total silence. No error. No malfunction. Just stillness. Until the stars behind Voyager flickered. Not with light but with motion. A ripple passed through the black like a curtain being pulled aside. And Voyager vanished from radar. Gone. No debris. No decay. No farewell. Just a hole in the sky. Some called it a failure. A tragic end to humanity's farthest traveler. But others, they weren't so sure. Because 31 hours later, a signal returned. Not from Voyager's last known position but from farther. Far beyond even where light could have reached. The signal was faint. It was slow. But it carried coordinates. Not for any star? Not for any planet. But for a point. A single location. In deep space. Where no telescope had ever looked.